Shalom, and welcome back to Bnei Noach Academy, Thoughts on Torah and Life. Please remember to hit the like button, to subscribe, and most importantly, to share this insight and inspiration with friends and family. So we're in the series of prayer for non-Jews / all people. And we've discussed so much, but I'm sure there's so much to still talk about. And here is the question that either I was asked or should have been asked. Is there any specific direction that one needs to pray in? In other words, do we need to be facing any specific direction in order for the prayer to be more optimal, to have a greater impact? Now, of course, let me preface, when we're praying to God, wherever we are, whenever we are, God is there. God is all over. However, as we already discussed in previous classes, I think it's quite obvious that maybe it's not God who needs it, but we need to prepare ourselves properly and accordingly. And that's why it matters what we dress, the environment we're praying in. Certainly, it's not appropriate to pray to God, for example, in a bathroom. It's not a clean place. It's not a place that's conducive for this. And so on and so forth, right? The garb, the attitude of the person, the cleanliness of the person, the hygiene, everything counts. Not because God is not there if, God forbid, we're unclean or if we're not dressed properly, but because we need to prepare ourselves for this special occasion. And yes, it is a special occasion every time we pray, because if we remember, prayer is connection, connecting to God. Now, in Jewish law, it's very specific and very concise that a Jew, when praying the formal prayers, should be facing in the direction of the Temple Mount, and most specifically where the Holy of Holies was, because that is considered to be the, quote, Sha'ar Hashamayim, the gate of heaven. Through there, all the prayers go up to heaven. Of course, God hears us wherever we are, whenever we are, like I said before. However, as God designated a specific holy place through which the prayers go up. Why this place? What is so special about this place? Well, that was the seat. That was the main place of the Shekhinah, of God's presence in this world. And we know there is a rule that says, Kedusha lo zaza mimekoma. Literally translated, holiness does not move from its place. Even though the walls, the edifice have been destroyed, but the holiness that was once there is always there. And nothing has changed, spiritually speaking. So since that was the seat of God's presence, main presence in this world, felt presence, therefore, through there, all the prayers come up. So to speak, we all connect through there. So then, yes, I would venture to say that this applies to all mankind, since we're all essentially praying and connecting to the same God. It's the same objective. We want to connect to God. I would actually enhance that argument with that famous verse, which we have previously mentioned in earlier classes, the verse from Isaiah, chapter 56, verse 7, which concludes with the words that Ki beiti bet tefillah yikarei lechol ha'amim. God says, for my house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples, for all the nations. So indeed, all the prayers are connected through that place that go up through there. Now, the question is, why there? What is so special about that place? In other words, why is that the designated place that is, quote, the gate of heaven, through which the prayers go up through that gate, through that conduit? Well, if you go back all the way in the beginning, when Adam and Eve were created, that's you and me, our ancestors, we all come from the same place. Where were they created from? Well, it says that God took earth and made the body. Well, most of that earth came from the top of what we know now as Temple Mount. And that's why that place was chosen, because to be that connector of mankind and his creator and the Almighty. And that's why the altar stood there, to serve as a source of atonement for man who came from there. Later, we find that Noah offered an offering. Adam offered an offering. Where did he do it? He offered it there. And then an offering is essentially that same effect as prayer. It connects the person to God. In fact, the Hebrew word for offering is korban, which doesn't mean sacrifice, but it comes from the etymology of coming close. So tefillah is to connect, tofel, korban is coming close. Again, connecting. Then later we find that Noah, after the flood, when he came in and he saw a new world, again, he says he offered an offering. Where did he do so? Again, on Temple Mount. Later, the binding of Isaac, Abraham and Isaac, and then he offered an offering there. Again, on Temple Mount. And later, Jacob offers an offering. Again, it's there on Temple Mount. So we find this place as being the key essential place where the fathers, the ancestors of mankind, A, came from, and B, most importantly, through there, they connected to God. They prayed to God. So thus, yes, it's most appropriate always to find out what's the direction of Temple Mount, wherever you are in the world, and pray towards there. We're not praying towards location, we're praying towards God, who is more found in that location. That's to be clear.